All right, something a little bit different today. We got another pit bike video. For those of you that have been watching the channel, family, friends, or anybody, you can see this is something different. We got a 2024 Honda CRF110F. Still got the YZ250FX and still got the TTR110. So what is missing here, let's go over to the board. I don't know if you can read that there, but the Kawasaki is now the Kawasaki. So I sold my pit bike, sold the 110, sold the Kawasaki. Although I do love it. It's probably one of my favorite experiences of just going out and riding, but I just hated the fact that it was carbureted. It was such an issue. It just, bogged and trying to get on the throttle and just the riding experience of the carburetor plus just adjusting it all the time. I mean, I bought a new carburetor, drilled out the air fuel screw, put different jets in, changed the pilots, changed the main, and it still ran like shit. So I was just sick of it. Sold it to a guy that was going to ride it for a while and then give it to his son. And then, so I got off work at 4, sold the pit bike at 4:30, was at the Honda dealership by 6, and then home by 7 with a brand new Honda CRF110. So pretty excited about that. This thing's awesome. It is fuel injected. That is the difference. So everything about it really is the same as the KLX. I mean, it's not built, so it doesn't have all the aftermarket parts, but it is fuel injected. So, it has injector, map sensor, throttle body, just a lot is different about it compared to the way that the power is delivered and the throttle response. And I don't know, I just wanted one, so it is what it is. We got this now, so I'm pretty excited about that. So we have a full series of build videos coming out for this thing. So let me at least kind of walk over here. I'm gonna unbox this all, but so as you can see, we do work with T-Bolt. I got a hold of T-Bolt and we got all kinds of shit for this thing. BBR bars, extended brake cable, extended throttle cable, full-size throttle tube, grips, extended front forks with dampening rods and heavy-duty springs, BBR throttle, or BBR exhaust. I'll get into this in a minute, but we got a swing arm. I mean, we got all kinds of shit. We went way overboard. CJR throttle body, CJR intake. I literally brought it home, drove around a block for 5 minutes. Next morning I woke up and I pulled the ECU, ordered all the parts, sent the ECU out to CJR Racing. So let me pop this open here. Yeah, to CJR Racing, they tuned the computer here. So, gonna have quite a bit of a difference. Got a lot going on here. So let me get all this open. We'll show it all. I'll try to do some how-to videos, especially about the throttle body and intake change because I haven't seen that. New intake tube. We'll kind of show the comparison here. But just all kinds of shit. I'm doing it right. We just went way over, 420 O-ring chain, extended kickstand, billet triple clamp. So pretty excited, as anybody with a new pit bike would be with all this shit sitting here. So for those of you that have a 110 or want one or, are excited about it, just sit back and watch some of the videos here because that thing's about to look a whole lot different. So just because it'll never look like this again, I at least wanted to do a quick walk around for anybody else or for myself, but brand new 110, literally 10 minutes on it, straight from the dealership, 2024. So, yeah, we'll do a little bit of before and after here, but a lot of things that I like about it compared to the KLX 110. I mean, the fuel injection, definitely. The front valve cover there is significantly different style than the KLX. This one looks nice, big, beefy. This does not have a removable drain or a removable oil filter. It's just a drain plug, which is kind of nice. This also has a dipstick. The 110 just had a level sight, which was irritating. This has a key. This has a fuel light. This has a check engine light. The KLX had none of that. Kind of cool. Like I said, I can't start it because I immediately pulled the computer with 10 minutes on it. and send it out to get tuned. So this thing is gonna rip. Got an hour meter. What else did I forget here? New grips, new air filter. We're gonna pull the airbox off, remove the screen, extended kickstand. Oof, DNM adjustable rear shock. Yeah, the extended front forks. So super excited. Got a lot of shit to put on. All right, so that was maybe half hour worth of work. There was a little bit of tedious spots of things to take off. So some tips from Cameron at CJR Racing was to label all these plugs. So you take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plugs plus the coil, and I guess they're all the same, you know, same port. You can plug them all into the same sensors. So I guess people had a lot of issues with plugging all that in and then having their bike not run. So if you're gonna do this, label your wiring so you can just plug it all back in. I took pictures of it too because I labeled it and already forgot which numbers started where. The other hard thing was getting the fuel tank off. So I just left it all together. I couldn't really figure out how to take that connector off without busting it. Same with that connector, which you can access. And then the actual fuel injection line connector, it's pretty hard to get to by that point in time. So I just unbolted it all, left it all together, and fished it out. So that's the stock throttle body, stock intake manifold. I'm gonna pull it apart and then we'll show a couple side-by-side comparisons. That's also the stock airbox you gotta pull off and rip out that intake boot. That's glued in, put the new one in, pull the backfire screen out. So, got some more work to do here, but we'll show it all. Okay, so everything's swapped over on the new throttle body intake assembly here. And I wish I would have did a little video before I put it on, but let me just show you the difference in the porting here. So that is the CJR ported intake, right? That is fucking hogged out. And this, look at that, that's stock. So super huge difference in the intake manifold. Throttle body's multiple millimeter larger than the stock throttle body also. And here's a look at the intake tube. So it's hard to tell, but see that little port? That's the stock intake. Yeah. So should be a pretty big difference there. And this backfire screen, which restricted a significant amount of airflow, I've now taken out. So we're gonna go over and get that intake tube swapped out, get the airbox all put back together, and then hopefully reinstall this throttle body and get this baby fired up. So we got 0 hours. So far we put a 24mm throttle body on it, fully ported CNC billet intake, full BBR D3 exhaust. What else? Ripped the stock super small intake boot out, and also pulled the stock backfire screen out of the airbox and put a uni filter on it. So already off the rip, this thing rips, and man, does that sound good and looks good. So I think that's going to be all I'm going to do for tonight. That was quite a bit, but really not that bad. You know, a little about 2.5 hours. Kind of taking my time, and it wasn't that bad. You know, my recommendation would be to unbolt the injector and pull it all off with the gas tank. Take your time taking all this apart, and it's nothing. You know, super easy and really impressive so far. I mean, I haven't rode it, but the fact that it can start up and instantly idle without resetting a throttle position sensor, without adjusting the idle or anything like that. Pretty legit. So shout out to Cameron Jones Racing. You can see a lot of their stuff on their website. And also, obviously, shout out to T-Bolt. It really took care of us. So got a lot to look forward to. Bars, swing arm, triple clamp, full extended forks, D&M shock, chain guard, quite a bit. So stay tuned.